Cass Gebbers, fourth generation rancher and orchardist from Brewster, Washington. Yeah, we're a family-owned company that, all of us work in it. I'm the fourth generation, my kids are the fifth. There's 20 in that generation. I think there's 16 or 17 in that generation that all have some kind of a job or a function at the company. Yeah, the Gebbers family was a German name. They came over here as potato farmers back in the 1880s and originally in Nebraska, and they moved out to the Alta Lake area above the terrace. And the holes, those big potholes that are the Alta Lake Golf Course, those were my grandparents' potato farms. And they worked on the Star Ranch down along the Columbia River, just south of the terrace, and eventually started a sawmill and some apple packing and apple orchards, and we've kind of went on from there. Those old timers, we owe them a lot. They scratched the gravel pretty hard to allow us to have the opportunities we have today.
And Gebbers Farms is a large agricultural operation that's involved in both ranching and orcharding. Can you sort of say what percentage the split is on that?
Yeah, I mean, we all wear a lot of hats. It's the nature of a family business. And my particular hat is CEO of the fruit company. I work with my brother and sisters, nephews, nieces, and that's my day job. My night job, I moonlight at our cattle ranch, which my younger son, Wade Gebbers, helps me run, and he's pretty much the manager of that these days. And you just go 24/7, 365. Cattle got to eat, orchards got to be taken care of, and when you're making food for people that you may never meet, you just go around the clock to do what's needed to be done.
I read that there's some interface between the cattle operation and the apple operation, in the sense that you're using a lot of your waste from the ranching operation as a supplement for the soil for the orchards. Is that right?
Yeah, we compost everything that we produce out of the cattle and the feedlots, and any rotted hay or something. I mean, it all goes in and we return it back to the earth. And we used to burn our bins. We grind all our old used up bins. We grind the small unmerchantable trees out of our forest, and everything goes back into our compost operation and gets applied to the acreage.
And there's a lot of acreage involved. Do you feel kind of a responsibility to that land to make sure that it can sustain and produce and be manageable in the future?
Yeah, I mean, when you grow up and your livelihood is the natural resources that are around you, you have to take care of them. I mean, as farmers and ranchers, we're the ultimate environmentalists, because if you don't take care of your land and live with it and live and breathe with it, you're going to wreck it. And we can't afford to do that, because that's where our livelihood comes from. So we have to be kind of in lockstep with the environment.
What kind of apple orcharding or orcharding innovations in general have you seen in your time growing up and working at Gebbers Farms?
Big changes. When I was a kid, I mean, you're yarding bins out of the orchard 3 at a time on an old slip, and the wine sap trees were probably 20 by 20 or even maybe 20 by 40 spacing. They were massive, picking on 12, 14-foot wooden ladders. And today you see these Vitrella single-spindled orchards. They're all done on platforms, a lot of robotics. I mean, in the packing warehouses my grandmother ran, I mean, they had the tubs and they're individually packing the fruit. And right now, robotics are taking pictures of every piece of fruit inside and out. I mean, the change has been amazing. Sometimes I just wish my grandparents could have seen all of this. I mean, they had no idea how hard they worked compared to what we get to do today and how it's done. It would be fascinating to hear their take on it.
You and other agricultural growers have become more efficient over time, and you're producing more and exporting quite a bit. So are you concerned at all about the tariff and trade situation now with other countries that are normally large purchasers of apples and fruit, putting retaliatory tariffs on anything they import?
Yeah, I mean, any market. I mean, one of my jobs at the Apple Commission is to help ensure that we're marketing Washington apples, to several countries around the world. And for us personally as a company, we always have that worry. We sell a lot of cherries along the Pacific Rim, and you know, China's a big player, and we need to have reciprocal trade and fairness in trade both ways. We need to have a lot of phytosanitary market access issues removed. And I think if you could flow that food back and forth a little bit easier, it would sure be helpful for all of us, the consumer and the farmer.
Let me ask you this, Cass. I know that in 2016 you survived a pretty traumatic event. And I don't know if you've spoken about that before, but I wanted to ask you if it, coming through that, helped you learn anything about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, God has a plan for everybody. And I've been, it's tough to think back on that day. I don't drive by that spot. I mean, it's in the middle of our farm. I drive by it every day, that I don't relive every minute of it. I can picture exactly what happened, and I know God was looking out for me, and He has a plan for everything. And I just make sure that that I honor the Lord every chance I get, because He saved my life in more ways than one.
Do you spend much time in Wenatchee, or are you mostly a homebody?
Well, I mean, home is Brewster, but I actually moved to Wenatchee as a 6th grader, and my brother came down to play ball here. It was a big school, and I ended up staying. I lived in Wenatchee for 7 years, went to Columbia Grade School, Pioneer Junior High, Wenatchee High School, met my wife in high school. We dated in high school, and so Wenatchee still feels like home to me, even though Brewster is my home. I mean, I have a lot of good friends here. I do business here. We come down for ball games. It's like a dual citizenship, Brewster and Wenatchee, for me.
I wanted to ask about your name, sir, because it's kind of unusual and interesting.
Yeah, so the Cascade Mountains, it's short for Cascade. My name's John William Cascade. Grandfather, great uncle, Cascade Mountains. My dad loved the Cascade Mountains. He fished and hunted his whole life in them, and named me after him.
What's it mean to you, Cass, to be named Apple Citizen of the Year?
It's a very special award. It's an honor. I mean, I look down that list of peers and predecessors. I mean, the guys like Grady Oval, you know, right through Wes Matheson, who's a peer today. We sit on the Apple Commission together, but that list is very important to our industry, and it's important to me personally. That's a special group of guys that laid the foundation for our industry.